Habitual Truther back with a new video, and I've decided to go ahead and make this video the one that is going to be really controversial. Let's put it that way. But God finally revealed to me the truth of this whole thing last June, and I've been sitting on it since then. I first started looking into this phenomenon back in April of 2018. So it took a little over a year till I seen the entire picture for what it is. But anyways, as you see on the screen right here, there is a male skeleton on the left and the female skeleton on the right. Now, I'm sure you've come across many videos, many YouTubers making videos talking about how all of the Hollywood so-called women are actually male to female trannies. You might even come across a couple videos that talk about the male Hollywood actors and whatnot being female to male trannies. But what you're not hearing about is that it's not just Hollywood, and it's not just the political governments of the world either. This is, in my estimation, 99.8% of the world's population have this condition. And I like to make one thing clear here. This ain't something that happens after birth, where people are having their children undergo sex change surgery. No. This phenomenon happens in the womb during pregnancy. I can't tell you how long ago that this started happening, but what I can tell you is it goes back pretty deep. I've seen pictures, paintings of people from the 15, 16, 1700s that clearly show the characteristics of an opposite sex skeletal structure. And that's what it comes down to. See, people have been conditioned and brainwashed into thinking that your gender is determined by what reproductive organs you have or your genitalia. But the truth of the matter is that's been altered through the corruption of the seed of man. What cannot really be affected is the skeletal structural difference between a male and a female. So, during pregnancy, in utero, the fetus that is developing incorrectly due to DNA or genetic manipulation that has affected the seed of man. Okay? The real rare ones on Earth are the real biological males and biological females, which are very far and few in between. I've lived out here in Arizona for over 3 years now, and all of the time that I've lived out here, I came across one real biological male and a small handful of real biological females. And I gotta give credit to Hans Wormhat. He is the only YouTuber that is showing this proof and truth of this worldwide phenomenon, which is the inversion of the seed of man. So what we are considered, we're not male to female transgenders, we're not female to male transgenders. We are either male to female inverts or female to male inverts. There's nothing surgical that takes place in this phenomenon. In utero, say the fetus has a male skeletal structure that's developed. Well, somehow the genetics has been tricked so that instead of testosterone being the hormone that is produced during the development of the male skeletal structural fetus, you have instead estrogen hormones being released, which causes that fetus to develop female genitalia. But what it cannot change is the skeletal structure. And there are clear differences between a male and a female skeletal structure. For instance, real biological women have wider hips than real biological men. And that is needed because they bear children. They give birth. So the birth canal has to be wide enough in order for the child to be born naturally. Thus, the female will have wider hips. And if you haven't noticed, talk to anybody, even in your own family. How many women do you know out there that gave birth that had to have C-sections? They couldn't give birth naturally because the baby was breached. The baby wouldn't be able to fit through the birth canal. That's because of the inversion. God made us perfectly genetically when he created Adam and then created Eve by taking Adam's rib. There was no such thing as real biological females having to have C-sections. No. That came about ever since the seed of man has changed. Now it goes beyond this. Because man, wanting to play God, started messing with the genetics of human DNA, I believe is the actual real reason why there are birth defects to this day. A lot of people like to blame God. If God's so good, why would he allow my child to be born with Down syndrome or whatever the case? Well, just know God didn't do that. It was the fallen angels who taught men how to manipulate genetic codes. And upon manipulation, you're taking something that was perfectly created by the Father who sits upon the throne, and you're trying to manipulate it and twist it, and thus you're going to have birth defects come about. So for all of you out there who like to blame God for the reason why there's birth defects, you better hold your tongue, because it's not God that's doing it. It's man's corruption that's doing it, corrupting the genetic seed of man. Okay? Now let me ask you this. As a child growing up, how many of you had female friends that were tomboys? I knew quite a few. This phenomenon explains why there are so many tomboys. But not only that, How many girly boys did you know growing up? My own brother wanted a tea set for Christmas back when he was 7 years old. Boys should be playing with trucks and guns and, things of that nature. Girls should be the ones messing around with tea sets and easy bake ovens and all that good stuff. But no, you see the exact opposite happening. Because that's the thing. The skeletal structure cannot be changed, even though the genitalia can be. But I also believe that a lot of these girly boys or tomboys still has the mentality of their whatever skeletal structure they are. So if it's a tomboy, a girl that likes to do boy things, dirt bike riding, playing football, stuff of that nature, it's because they still have the male skeletal structure, even though they have the female parts, but they also have the male mentality, the male thinking. And the same is true for all the girly boys growing up with the female skeletal structures, even though they have male genitalia. They have female mentality. That's why this world is so twisted and flipped upside down upon its head, is because of scientists out there trying to play God by messing with something that God created perfectly, genetically. Of course, we were born into sin. That's, a whole different ball game. But I'm saying genetically, He created us perfectly. We have our own immune system to fight off disease. Our bodies are designed to digest the food that we eat, to turn it into fuel and energy. Our bodies do all different kinds of magnificent things. But once you start messing with the DNA, you're taking something that ain't broke, trying to make it better through DNA manipulation, and then upon that, you're gonna have birth defects arise. So, yeah, all of you out there always blaming God for why so many children are born with birth defects, you better rethink what you're saying and hold your tongue, because it wasn't God that designed them that way. They weren't meant to be that way, just like we weren't meant to be born with the opposite genitalia of what we were supposed to be born with. And Hans showed pictures of himself on a lot of his videos showing that he is in fact a real biological male. And he's the only one making these videos. And I'm getting sick and tired of all these gatekeeper truther channels like Mr. E, Transpocalypse, Mag, and so many others, Truth Seeker 69. They're all gatekeepers because they're only giving you part of the truth. They're not giving you the whole shebang. So while they got you concentrated looking at Hollywood actors and actresses and musicians being of opposite genitalia of their skeletal structure, you're not looking at the people around you. You're not looking at yourself. Let's put it this way. I can guarantee without a shadow of a doubt, if you do this research for yourself and you look at yourself in your mirror in your bathroom and you look at how your skeletal structure looks, compare it to one of these skeletons that you see here. The male on the left and the female on the right. Females are born with sloping shoulders. Men are supposed to have straight across shoulders. Real bio women are born with short necks where their head is basically coming out, you know, with hardly a neck. Real women don't have Adam's apples or pipe-size windpipes. Real men have that. Another key factor, and this works like 98% of the time, because you will come across some discrepancies if you're looking at just one area of someone's skeletal structure. But that's why you don't just look at one aspect, you look at all of the picture, the whole picture. Because when you think and you're looking at a real male, because you see that he has long humerus bones, look again, look at the rest of his structure. Are his hips as wide as his shoulders? Does he have a Q angle where the femur bones go inward from the hips? That's called a Q angle, which is a real biological female trait. Only real females are supposed to have a Q angle. Men have a straight up and down torso, straight up and down femur bones, as you can see depicted here in the skeletons. Okay. There's so many differences. Check out the structure of the skull between the real male and the real female. A real male skull, he should have a sloped back forehead with a pronounced eyebrow ridge. Real females have a straight up and down forehead with I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. So the male skull, slope back forehead, square angular jaw, deep set eyes. Real men supposed to have. Women have shallow set eye sockets with the eyes closer together than men, and they have a straight up and down forehead with a soft looking jaw with nothing pronounced. Real women have short humerus bones. Real men have long, strong humerus bones. And I don't know if you can see, but when I flex my arm so I could show you my humerus bone, it's short. I've been inverted as well. I was supposed to be born as a female because based on my female skeletal structure, even though I have male genitalia. And I guarantee you, 99.8% of you that are watching this video are also inverted. Look and study for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Study the differences between a male and a female skeletal structure. And then upon knowing the differences, then look at yourself in the mirror and see skeletal structure wise which one you appear to line up with. And you'll see for yourself. Sure, there's things that can occur during birth, during pregnancy, where the female skeletal structure fetus can develop an Adam's apple. But if you look hard, most of the women that are around you in everyday life will have a slight Adam's apple that looked like it should have developed, but it didn't due to the estrogen that they were inundated with during the pregnancy phase. Real bio women do not have a thigh gap. Real bio men have a thigh gap, which you could clearly tell nowadays, since 90% of the women you see in public are wearing yoga pants. That's like the new fad. But if you look closely, you will notice that they have a major gap between their thighs when they're wearing the yoga pants. That's not supposed to be. Those so-called women that you're looking at in everyday life are actually men, female structure, skeletal structure with female genitalia. That's all. I myself do not have a thigh gap, which is another indicator that I was inverted during pregnancy as well. And I'm sure these prenatal vitamins that the doctors are giving to the women probably contain the opposite hormone of what their child is supposed to be developing as to help the inversion along during pregnancy. So if you're pregnant with a fetus that is developing male genitalia but has the female skeletal structure, I can guarantee you those prenatal vitamins you're taking, if you study them or have them taken to a lab to be studied, those prenatal vitamins are going to be containing estrogen to help the inversion along. And the opposite can be said if you're pregnant with a child that has a male skeletal structure but is being inundated with estrogen to develop female genitalia. Of course, you know, the inversion, all right? But I believe it's bigger than just prenatals. Like I said, I believe that somewhere far back in time, somebody messed with the genetic code of mankind, which is the reason why you're seeing, or at least I'm seeing it, and Hans is seeing it all around us, all these people that are inverted. Like I said, study the differences between the skeletal structures. And look up Hans Wormhat. Check out his channel if it hasn't been taken down again. His channel, he's had probably 20 plus channels taken down over the last 2 years because they're trying to hide the truth. Now tell me, why would YouTube want to bother with a small-time YouTuber like Hans Wormhat, who never gets more than 10,000 subscribers every time he has to create a new channel because they keep taking down his old channels? Why are they attacking him so heavily? You got to ask yourself that. So they don't care if people are making Bigfoot videos claiming that Bigfoot is real. They don't mind that fantasy crap, but they sure care about Hans making these videos showing the inversion that most of the people around you, including in your own families, are inverted. Why are they hiding that? If it's not true, if it's just some wild conspiracy, then why is YouTube so adamant about taking down Hans Wormhat's channels? I used to be subscribed to almost all of his channels. Hans Conspiracy 1, Hans Conspiracy 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then he has a Hans Wormhat channel. All of which have been taken down. And I noticed that he finally put up a video like a week ago, which I haven't seen him put up videos in at least a couple of months, telling me that either the community guidelines strike was lifted off his channel or he had to create a new channel. No, it had to have been lifted because I'm still subscribed to it. So yeah, so that's what you need to ask yourself. Not only that, but when it comes to other conspiracies, YouTube admitted themselves that they were going to start censoring channels that were talking about 9/11 if their conjecture doesn't line up with the official story, then they're going to censor 9/11 videos, truther videos. And they said they're going to start censoring flat earth videos because it's dangerous information. They claim it's dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous to the elites, the ones that are trying to trick all of us and get us to believe in lies, because they've been trying to hide God since the dawn of time. All right? So ask yourself, why is it that they don't care about YouTubers that are putting up UFO videos, alien videos, Bigfoot videos, but heaven forbid if you're making a video on 9/11 truth or flat earth or the Nephilim, the giants that existed, in which there were many mounds all across the United States, especially in Ohio, that were dug up by the Smithsonian, and the skeletons of these giants were destroyed. They are destroying the truth, the evidence, the proof. But then, when you go to your education camp called school, you're taught about dinosaurs and cavemen, Neanderthals, all this BS. You're taught about evolution, how we came from monkeys, all this BS. All these theories, which are still theories, but for some reason, they feel that it's important that we learn a bunch of BS. Not one real dinosaur bone. You can go to any dinosaur museum in the world, and the curator will admit that they are just plaster castings. So then, where are the real dinosaur bones? Oh, they're under lock and key. Really? So why would they hide the real dinosaur bones from us and not even show us the real bones and then present us with a bunch of plaster castings? Don't you think if they wanted the so-called truth to be told, that they would release these so-called real dinosaur bones that are under lock and key to the public so that we could see for ourselves that they are indeed telling us the truth, that dinosaurs really did exist millions of years ago? Come on, man, wake up. But yet, the real bones that are being dug up, like the Nephilim bones, I'm talking skeletons that range from 9 feet to as tall as 30 feet tall, have been dug up. Those bones are being destroyed and hid from us because they're hiding the truth. If you read the Bible, Genesis 6 talks about the Nephilim. They are the offspring of women. When the fallen angels mated with the human women, because they found them to be beautiful and fair, they bore giants, which are the Nephilim. They are the offspring of the DNA of fallen angels being mixed with the DNA of mankind. And they're hiding that from us. They don't want us to know that. But here's another example. The Book of Enoch was removed from the original canon. And the Book of Enoch goes into great detail about these Nephilim giants. No wonder they removed it. We only catch one little glimpse about giants in the canonized Bible, which is in a small verse in Genesis 6, about how they were men of old and renowned. They're hiding the truth from us, you see? And that's why all you Christians out there who are canon believers need to wake up. What your so-called Bible canon is only a fraction of real scripture that was inspired, written by man, inspired through God. So you're seeing only a small portion of the truth. So like I said, I'm sure I'm going to lose subscribers. It's not about losing subscribers. Let me make this clear. My biggest worry is I don't want to push people away from seeking Jesus Christ. That's what I'm worried about. Because putting out such a video like this, I mean, I admit, when I first started looking into it, I thought it was crazy myself. Until I did my homework, and I researched and studied the subject, and then I incorporated it into everyday life. I'm so good at it that I could see a person walk past me in my peripheral vision, and I can tell you if they're a real biological human or if they're an invert like myself and all of you that are watching this video. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Do the research for yourself. And do it with a serious mindset. Don't go in jokingly. Like, do this research seriously for yourself. And I promise you, you'll come to the same recollection that I did when I discovered this. And all glory goes to the Father, because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't even know about this phenomenon myself. I'd still be walking around thinking that, of course I'm a man, you know. While 99.8% of the world's population are inverted, there's only a small smidge of real biological men and real biological women. I'm talking, look at everyone in your family. If you see a so-called woman with long humerus bones and a straight up and down torso with no Q angle and a head that pops up and off the shoulders like a bobblehead doll, that ain't a woman you're looking at. Sure, she might have been born with a vagina and a uterus, but the truth is, she's been inverted because she has the male skeletal structure. So, I really just want all of you to look at this for yourselves. Do your own research and then come to your own conclusion. Seriously, this isn't a joke. This isn't a laughing matter. I want all of you guys to take this seriously. When you watch this video, look up the differences between a male and a female skeletal structure and then incorporate it as you look at people in real life. You can break them down head to toe and see for yourself that yes, most of the people you're seeing all around you are inverted as well. So this is the mind-blowing video, which I indeed feel is the biggest cover-up in the history of the earth. This is bigger than the cover-up of flat earth, because this involves each and every one of us personally. We've been corrupted. No wonder why there's so much confusion out there. And now they got all these trannies doing makeup tutorial videos, corrupting the children even more. So the so-called little boys that are watching the videos that actually have female skeletal structures are being taught how to put makeup on. It's all about the androgyne. They want to combine male with female into one body. That's their mindset. Transhumanism. That's the transgender agenda. Truthfully, it's not just in Hollywood, so don't listen to those puppets like Mr. E or Mag, or, you know, Mr. E changed his name and came out with Transpocalypse. Don't listen to those fools. They're gatekeepers. They're like Alex Jones. They give you a kernel of truth, and the rest is just littered with lies to keep your focus on Hollywood and politicians, so that you're not even thinking about yourself or the people that are around you or the people in your very own family. Apply this. Those of you that have seen those Hollywood videos, apply this to yourself as you look in the mirror, and apply this to everyone else around you in your own family. and you will see that this isn't just a Hollywood or a politician thing. This is a worldwide thing. And like I said, yes, when I say 99.8% of the world's population are inverted, I believe that with all of my heart. Considering that I've seen 3 real biological women out here in Arizona in more than almost 3.5 years of living here. And I've only seen 1 real biological man. The rest are inverts, just like myself, just like you watching this video. Chances are you're inverted as well. And wouldn't you like to know if you've been corrupted? I know it was like bitter mixed with sweet. I was glad to find out the truth of what I am, the corruption that took place, what I was supposed to be meant to be in life had been inverted. I'm glad to know that, but at the same time, it's sickening. Because I didn't have no choice in the matter. They didn't ask me if I wanted to have my genitalia corrupted and changed from what I was supposed to be born as. They didn't ask me. This occurred right in the womb. Just like with all of you. Did they ask you if you guys wanted to be inverted? No. But it happened. But don't worry. It's not like we're unsavable. Jesus Christ came to save the world. And God knows that this isn't our fault that we've been inverted. It was out of our hands. You know, it happened during gestation. So, seriously guys, just take this video seriously. Do your own research. Please do your own research. And don't take my word for it. Do the research for yourself and come to your own conclusion. And this is the video, like I said, that I've been sitting on. But you know what? The truth needs to come out. Okay? If I am a real truther, then this video needs to be made regardless of what others think. So, and I crave the truth. And there's just more videos that I need to make of other stuff that God has revealed to me. And once you learn all these things, you see the entire puzzle start to come together before your eyes. And then you see, ever since I learned that the earth was flat and motionless with a dome firmament over it, with the sun and the moon and stars inside of the firmament, just like God said in Genesis, He put them in the firmament. I've been looking at the world with a new pair of eyes. I see the world for what it really is. And the only way you can come to that is everything you were ever taught in school, you need to throw that out. Trash it. Go in brand new. Do your own research and you'll come to the same conclusion that I did. And you can apply this to anything, not just flat earth. You can apply this to this video, for instance. Do your research. Look at the people around you. Why do you think, if you've seen Hans' videos, why do you think he calls the FTM inverts, the female to male inverts like myself, why do you think he calls them T-Rexes? Because they have the T-Rex-like arms, the really short humerus bone with the long forearm, like T-Rex. They're like T-Rexes. Where the women around you have a long, strong humerus bone, which is male trait, even though they have female genitalia. That's what you need to study all this. The Q angle is a female trait that I have. I had to take a serious look at myself in the mirror last June. Naked. After I got out of the shower, I looked at myself. And I couldn't look at myself biasedly. I had to look at myself for exactly how I appeared in the mirror and do the breakdown for myself. And when I did it unbiasedly, yeah, I have the Q angle, just like the real women are supposed to have. I am leggy in proportion, and what that means is I have a shorter torso than leg proportion, which is also a female trait. Real men are supposed to have longer torsos than legs. Real women have shorter torsos and longer legs. Why do you think high heels were invented for women? To make their legs appear longer. Because, like I said, 99.8% of the female world's population are inverted. They got male skeletal structures with female parts. It's all about the illusion. It's all an illusion. They want us to think that we are real men and real women, when in fact, we're not. We've all been inverted. So, except for a very few. There's even a verse that Hans said in the Bible that talks about how men will become rare as fine gold. And that makes perfect sense, because nowadays, try to find yourself a real biological man. It's gonna be like trying to dig for gold. Yeah. So, this is another complete revelation of truth that I'm passing on to you guys. And like I said, I don't expect you to believe me. I expect you to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. And I guarantee you, your conclusion will be the same as mine if you go into this studying and researching with an unbiased mindset. Throw out everything you learned in school, including history, and you will see that we've been lied to about everything. And people have a hard time believing that. Why would they lie to us about everything? You got to stop thinking of it as they. Who do they answer to? They answer to Satan. And the scripture is clear when it says that Satan is the prince of this world. Satan took Jesus up upon a high mountain and he said, look around you. I will give you all the kingdoms of the world if you will bow down and worship me. And Jesus said, get behind me, Satan. And he didn't. Jesus did not fall for it. But guess who did? The ones that are ruling this world. The ones that control all the money, the central bankers, the Zionists. They are the ones answering directly to Satan and passing down the commands. So when you look at this with the mindset for what it really is, that Satan is the one ruling this world, you will see why we've been lied to. I mean, scripture doesn't say that Satan is the father of lies for nothing. He's the master of confusion and the father of lies. So why wouldn't everything be a lie to us? Everything that we grew up learning, everything we know since we were children is all lies. And it makes sense because Satan's ruling this world and he doesn't want us to believe in God. He wants to be worshipped. Even the atheists are going to be killed. Okay? He hates each and every one of us because we are created in the image of the Father that sits upon the throne. And that makes Satan jealous. So, yes, everything that you knew is a lie. You need to throw it all out and dig for the research. This is the time that the truth is being revealed. In the book of Daniel, in the last days, knowledge shall be increased. Hello, we are in the last days. This is the knowledge that's being increased. And I've been studying it for almost 2 decades. And it's amazing how much is being, and I'm sure there's a plethora of information that I still haven't learned yet that's going to come out into the light, because God will put everything into the light. He will hide nothing from us. Satan is the one that hides things from us. Satan's the one that keeps secrets of the truth. Why do you think the Freemasons, they worship Lucifer? It's a secret society like Skull and Bones. The Bilderberg meeting. They meet up every year to discuss what they're going to do for the following year. Because they're the ones that control the world. They're the ones that answer directly to Satan. Why should there be secrets? God doesn't have secrets. He doesn't keep secrets from us. But you bet your bottom dollar Satan does. Yeah. So please, guys, do this research for yourselves. Give it a chance. Go into it with a new pair of eyes. Throw everything out that you've ever learned and apply this in real life. If you apply this method after you study the differences between the male and female structure, apply it in real life with all of the people that are all around you, even your own family members. And you will see that, yes, we've all been inverted. So, all glory goes to the Father. And I thank you, Father, for giving me this information. Hans, he's the only one doing it. And he's right. He said in the video a few months back, why am I the only one making these videos? Why aren't there any others standing up and making these videos? There needs to be more of us. And I agree. You know, this was probably almost a year before I discovered what I really am last June. I left a message on Hans's channel in the comments section. And my old picture icon was a picture of me, my sister, my brother, and my son. And I said to him, I said, look at the picture. I'm a real male, ain't I? Question mark. Hans never responded back to me. And mind you, he responded to me in a lot of things. When I questioned what is a strat, what is a T-Rex, he always answered back. And I feel that the reason why, hold on. The reason why Hans didn't answer me back is because Hans probably felt bad for me. Because he would have had to tell me, no, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not a real natural born male. And that stayed in my mind for all that time until I finally discovered for myself when I actually truly looked at myself almost a year later and seen that, yes, I am inverted, and now I understand why Hans didn't reply. God bless Hans. He's a good man, and he's doing the work of the Father. And I recommend you check out Hans Wormhat's channel. I'll put it in the description. But like I said, guys, please look at this with open eyes. This is the absolute truth. I came to that conclusion, finally seeing the whole entire picture for what it is last June, when I finally took a look at myself. And I urge you guys to do the same. Study this skeletal structure, look at yourself with unbiased eyes in the mirror, and see for yourself that, yes, most of you have been inverted as well. So anyways, I don't want to make this video too long. It's already going on 50 minutes. But I love each and every one of you guys. And I'm going to start, hold on. I'm going to start making more videos more often, because there is so much truth that I need to get out to you guys so that you guys can open your eyes, because I want everyone to know the truth. I need to be the watchman on the wall that I was called to do. And I am. I will. So the next video is probably going to be a completely different topic than this. But please take this video seriously, you guys. This is a real phenomenon that is taking place. And when you do research it and see for yourself, you're going to be like, yep. And it's just everything's going to start coming together once you see all these truths. So anyways, let me go ahead and end this video, you guys. I love each and every one of you. And I pray for all of you and your families that you are all blessed abundantly. Much love to all of you. Habitual Truther.